Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite girl Favor here. If today is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, thank you so much for stopping by. On this YouTube channel, we learn how to turn void materials into a beautiful piece. And to my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for your love and support. So my loves, for today we are going to be learning how to sew this milkmaid gown you're seeing here. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, without wasting much of your time, let's head to the tutorial proper. So my loves, on our previous tutorial we learned the pattern drafting and then we transferred it to the fabric. So I'm going to be leaving the link to that tutorial on the description box below. Please do well to check it out so that you get to understand how we arrive at these pieces. Now I've gone ahead to cut it like I said, and I also used an interfacing to gum on all the pieces. Okay, so this is the interfacing I use. Now I'm not going to be attaching any boning or anything. That is why I have to use an interfacing for it so that it can be thick. All right, so this is the back pattern. What we are going to do is that we're going to pick up the back pattern and then pick up the lining. You can see that I also put interfacing on the lining, and then we're going to place it like this, right side facing each other, and then we'll sew this place following the direction of my finger. I'll sew all the way to this point and down here. So the other part where my hand is, we're not going to be sewing here. All right, and then this is the cup. You need to see the tutorial for you to understand how we arrive at this. All right, so this is the cup. If you notice, you see that I did not put anything on the cup of this gown because I don't want it to be too thick. The lining alone will make it thick, and I went ahead to add 1 inch on the upper part, then half inch round it. Okay, so I will go ahead now and separate the pattern from the main fabric. All right, now this is the center front. This is our center front here. I use this to cut on this, and I as well iron ST on the both fabrics and the main and the lining. All right, so this is it. You can see there's no cutting at the center, is just plain. All right, so I'll keep this aside as well. Now we're going to work on the cup. We're going to identify the front side of your fabric, and then we'll place the lining right side facing each other like this. Now after placing the lining, we are going to run a stitch like this. All right, we are going to run a stitch to this point. Now at this other side here, this down part, from this point down to the other part, we are not going to be stitching it, rather we'll run a stitch this side. So guys, I've gone ahead to sew on our lining together to the fabric, and this is the back pattern. This is what we have. You can see here, this is where I turned it out from. Okay, so this is the two back. I will keep this aside. So we're going to be working on our cup. Now this is it. This is the area where I ran the stitch. I did it like this because I don't want to fold it in like that. That is why I had to use an interfacing for it. And then at this point here you can see that I did not run a stitch on it. Okay, now this is the rope we are going to be using to be able to like draw on our cup. Okay, now I have the length of this to be 21.5 inches. Okay, so depending on how long you want yours to be, you can go ahead and do that. Now we're going to pass a septum pin to it. Okay, now when I was running a stitch, I left an opening, like 1 inch opening at this point here. Okay, so that is where we are going to be passing our septum pin into. You see, so I left 1 inch opening where my hand is. So you want to do that on your own end. If you are not folding, if you're going to be turning with lining, just like what I did, so we pass it through, and then this is what we have for the first one. Okay, this is it. And then at this point here, I loosened a little bit here so that it can come out at this point. Okay, I hope you understand. So by the time we pull it, we're good to go. Now at this lower part, this point here, I ran a gather stitch on it. So what we're going to do right now is to pull our gather stitch with the rope. A gather stitch is that very loose stitch that you can easily pull out the rope, so we'll use it to run a gather stitch just the way I'm doing it. You can see the way I'm gradually pulling it, and then we will do the same thing for the other side as well. All right, So my loves, after pulling up the gather stitch, this is what we have. Now we are going to work on the center front. This is our center front here. Okay, now we're going to pick up one of the cups, right side facing each other. Can you see the way it is there? You see where I placed it? You place it all around to this point, all where we have that curve. That's our Milkmade curve. That is our bra cup, something that looks like the bra cup. You understand what I'm trying to say? And then we'll pull it to this point. Now when we get to this point, we are going to be leaving out like 1 inch or half an inch where we can be turning our lining from. Okay, so I left out half an inch. We will do the same thing. Now you want to make sure that you use one of your cup to cross on each other, just like this. Just pay attention to what I will do here. Just use it and cross it up like this, and then I'll bring it back. So my loves, this is what it looks like. I have gone ahead to attach our cup to our center front, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to pick up our lining. You can see that I also have a gum stay on the lining. We're going to place it this way. You see the way I place my lining? All we have to do is get the center, the midpoint of our bustier like this, and then we'll place it this way. You can see the way I placed it. So when we place it, we're going to use it gradually, sew it round, just sew it round. All right, and then when we get to this point, we will stitch and then stitch it all around. So I will take this to the sewing machine, stitch it and bring it back. So my loves, I've stitched it and this is what it looks like. You can see I stitched here, I stitched all the way around. See, this is the center front, and then I stitched the side as well. So we are going to go ahead and pull it out, turn it in out, so that we will see what it looks like. Now this is invisible stitches that I just did for the cup, so that gather effect, the rough edges will be, the lining will cover the rough edges. Okay, so this is what we have here. Now at this end, we are expected to just give this a nice press. Make sure you iron. Ironing really makes clothes look neat, and that is the secret to neat sewing. So we're going to first of all iron it. Okay, so this is what the inside looks like. You can see the invisible stitches that I said. I have gone ahead to use the lining to cover the cup, and this is what we have looking all pretty. Now this is the back pattern. This is the pieces of the back. We are going to go ahead and place it like this, pick it up, and then come to this other side of the center front, and then close it up using our body measurement. Or you can go ahead and use the inch that you added when you were cutting your seaming allowance. That is what you use to close it up. So I will take it now, use my body measurement, close it up, and then I will bring it back. So guys, I've gone ahead to attach it to the two pieces together, and this is what it looks like. So this is the front. Okay, so this is the front. When you drag it to this point, you're good to go. So my loves, at this point, this is the result you're supposed to be getting. Now the next thing we are going to do is to get the round measurement of our waist, where we're going to be attaching our gathers. Okay, now this is what we're going to be using for the lower parts. Okay, when I had to change the other fabric, if you check the first video, you will notice that this is not the fabric that we used as the intro, but I felt this one is going to do more, or is going to match it more, and it really came out beautiful. Now at this point here, we're going to hem it in by half an inch so that the mat will not be too rough. Okay, and then we'll run a gather stitch on this one. All right, now after running a gather stitch, the same amount of fabric I have on that black and white is the same amount I have on this one. So you want to take note of that as well. So we're also going to go ahead and run a gather stitch. So guys, I've gone ahead to run a gather stitch and I hemmed the base. So this short one, this small one, is going to be the one that is going to be at the lower part, just like this. All right, and then the flowered fabric is going to be at the center. Now, how I got the length of my gathers, the full length of the gown we are cutting is 33 inches. I minus from my shoulder to my waist measurement, which is 16 inches here. Now the remaining one I I divided it. So for the lower part, that is this black one, I used 7 inches for the lower one, and then from here I counted 11 inches for the center one, that is this red fabric. All right, and then this other one here, I have it to be 7 inches, but because I have folded half an inch, we are now left with 6.5 inches. And then to get your how to get your gathers, now my waist measurement is 33 in total. I will get times 2 of it. So if it's 33, that means it's 66 we are going to get. So we will go ahead and pull the gather stitch. So my love, I've gone ahead to pull on the gather stitch both for the center one and the lower part, and this is what we have. Now we are going to be attaching these two together. So what we're going to do is that you identify the front of your fabric. Okay, so just pay attention to how we are going to be placing it. Please take note that you will run your gather stitch on this before placing the two together. So you want to join it like this. The essence of joining it like this is so that gather's effect here will be inside. So you see the way I placed it, that is how you're going to place it on the fabric. That is the right side facing each other. You see the way I did it, so that by the time we join it, this is what we'll have. So my loves, this is what we have, and I have joined it together. So you see, this is what it looks like. Now we will take our upper part, which is the from our shoulder to our waist, and then we're going to be joining it together, right side facing each other. Again, we're going to be joining it like this. You see the way I placed it. We'll run a stitch all the way to the full length. So I will take this to the sewing machine, run a stitch around it, and bring it back. So my loves, I have gone ahead to attach our upper part to the lower part, and you can see how pretty this looks like. Okay, and this is what it looks like. Then at the back, I have gone ahead to attach a zipper on the gown. Okay, so there are different methods of how you attach a zipper, but if you want to really know the easiest way to attach a zipper, please leave it on the comments and I would make a tutorial on that. So my loves, if you have watched this tutorial to this point, have you clicked on the subscribe button? Please do well to click on the subscribe button if you're yet to subscribe. Turn on your notification bell if you're yet to do that, so that you'll be notified on our next tutorial. Now the next thing we're going to do, we are going to be attaching the sleeve for this clothes. Now I have gone ahead to cut out pieces. Okay, so this pieces is going to be serving for front and back. So when you fold it this way, it's going to be for the front and back. Now when I was drafting the upper part, I removed the off shoulder that I minus from my gown was 7 inches. So 7 plus 7 will give us 14 inches, but I did 16 inches for joining and all of that. So by the time we attach it, we'll be left with 14 inches. I hope you understand. Now we're going to pick up our gown, place it this way. So I'll open it up so that we'll understand easily. So open it up here. You can see that the gown we're trying to recreate, the sleeve is close to the armhole area. So I'll place it here with 1 inch, and then I'll pin it down. So when we pin it down, that simply means we are supposed to do a top stitch on it. Now this kind of sleeve attachment is good, so that in case if you still want to do any other adjustments, you can be able to do it. So turn it this way. You can see the way I turned it so that it will be all right. Then we'll also go ahead and pin it down, just like what we did for the back pattern. Okay, now this one here, I will move it in because I noticed it was too close, so I moved it in. I moved it out by 3 inches. Okay, so I will check it out to see if I have the 3 inches here. So I moved it exactly the 3 inches. So whatever I have here is what we are going to do at this point. Come out from this joining here by 3 inches, and then I will place my stripe and then place it this way. See the way I place it, so that by the time you stitch on it, the stitch is not going to be visible. So guys, that's all for today's tutorial. That's basically it for today's tutorial. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said before, if you're yet to click on the subscribe button, please do well to click on the subscribe button. Please do not forget to turn on your notification bell so that you'll be notified. Please leave a comment, and please share this video so that it will get to someone who might find it very helpful. And most importantly, my loves, please do not forget to go green. Do not forget to go green. I'll be seeing you guys on our next tutorial. So thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.